Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Hebrew Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered testimony of the various prophets of the Old Testament. It became the Book of Zion, a book written entirely in Bible verse. I found contained within the prophecy of Israel a list of instructions as to how to bring about first contact with God. And so I set out to do just that. And the publication of these videos is my final act of prophecy, the final thing on my to-do list to become the Zion of the Most High God of Israel and to fulfill prophecy, therefore setting the stage for first contact. Now, I know that sounds pretty fucking crazy, and that's alright. I don't really need you to believe me. I'm just telling you what I did. I'm telling you what I found, and I'm telling you what it said. So, I have a theory. I have a theory that if we continue to follow the directions foretold in the prophecy of Israel, that we can bring about first contact with the gray aliens. Because that is what the prophecy is about. So, believe me if you want to believe me. Don't believe me if you don't want to believe me. Doesn't matter to me. But I'm pretty sure that there are enough people out there who do drugs, who are poor, and who believe in God or the aliens. And I believe that there are enough of you out there to want to test my theory. And you see, that's the whole thing. I want to test my theory. I totally believe that if all of us drug users get together, hold a solemn assembly, and ask the Grey to come telepathically, that they will do just that. They will come, they will land at our camp, and they will be our true champion. They will show the world just how wonderful we, the drug using public, can be. Now, when I went to publish the Book of Zion, I found out that I had to write another book to be able to publish it because it's written entirely in Bible verse. Not a word of it is in my own hand. So I had to write the Pot Smoker's Bible in order for it to qualify for publication. And in order to publish Peace, I'm publishing both books in one, called the Pot Smoker's Bible, containing the Book of Zion. I'm reading from the 23rd chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible today, which contains the 20th chapter of the Book of Zion. I'm going to take up where I left off. And it goes like this. Life is a cycle. The circle is a matrix that is created by higher and higher beings. We, who are on the lowest level, that of gross matter, gross being all material, are on a journey to become spirit. Spirit is the merging form of two souls. Those souls merge to become one. This is the simple, elegant theory of everything, the cycle of life. Everyone who chooses drugs have done so because they have in previous lives merged with their soulmates the required amount of times, having evolved together into beings who are ready to merge into the Godhead. So we are to become a new pantheon of gods and goddesses. We do drugs in order to form the proper brain configuration in order to truly merge. That is the doing of the matrix, our law. We have won the right to be evolved. During the next age of humanity, we, who become, will be learning how to function with our newfound powers, our godliness, our holiness, our righteousness. We are not yet gods and goddesses, but we are becoming that. We, who can create, will be always guided by our higher emanations and um, and we will be guided by the light beings who create the unicorns. So our next age of Zion will be energized by pure, just light. Now, when Hera and Zeus merge, the new form will find its mate and become larger emanations, which forms other universes. We live in a universe that is the emanation of a higher source couple. Other universes exist on other planes, created by other beings on the same level as our source. Hera, Zeus, and their mate are but one bubble of life in an endless sea of life bubbles, our wonderful multiverse. And all of these bubble verses are connected, just as our planets are connected. Black holes and are roadways between connecting universes. Travel does happen. We live on a circle, in a circle, surrounded by a circle, which is surrounded by a circle, etc., 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 on into infinity. And we are connected to other circles through black holes, or black white hole conduits, as they really are. So back to us. We, tiny lowest of life forms, are all on the same journey. We who are ready to graduate to the next highest plane, the Godhead, are able to interact with these higher beings. We are prophets, but we do not yet understand our destiny, so we live our life as humans. We aren't like other preachers. In fact, we don't preach at all. We don't wear the uniform of the priesthood. We don't acknowledge our state of being. We go about our lives as ordinary people, not trying to proclaim our divine connection like priests who wear black robes or suits that preach false gods that are idols. We dress down, portraying ourselves as you humans see us, poor trash. But he shall say, the Bible says, I am no prophet, I am an husbandman, for men taught me to keep cattle from my youth. Here is what we proclaim. We are not priests. We aren't prophets. We're just ordinary people who work for a living like everyone else. We don't preach or proclaim ourselves the prophets. We tell the world that we're just laborers who aren't special at all. No self-respecting drug user would become a modern version of a priest or prophet. My people abhor the religions. They have rejected the false gods. They don't want to be known as priests and prophets because we aren't what the society calls priests and prophets. We're something totally different. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thine hands? Then he shall answer, Those of which I had when wounded in the house of my friends. The wounds in our hands talks about the damage we do to our bodies with our drugs. The drug wounds us. In my mind's eye, I see a needle in the hands of the junkie. I'm not a junkie, I don't use needles, but many of my friends do. I believe that is the needle in the hands of a junkie, that is the wound in the hand. The part about being in the house of my friend indicates our social structure. Our hidden nation of Zion is a circle of close friends who party together at the home of other friends. We are connected to other circles of friends. We are bound to each other by location and by bond of friendship and trust. Each group of friends is a sacred circle. The parties we host in our homes are sacred events where we merge our energies and emit sacred joy. That joy gives light to the world. These sacred circles of friendship connect us to the source of our joy, and this light is our circle, life giving force. And all of us belong to more than one circle. Our circles are intertwined in a matrix of our own emanations. We have a web of life that we are weaving. Each circle we belong to gives life to our merged matrix. That matrix encompasses the entire planet. When we connect our consciousness into this merging matrix, the old matrix will collapse. Then all of the circles that we belong to will merge into a worldwide matrix. This new matrix is what I can see. It is now filled with the spirit of Zion and Messiah, who are our parent Godhead. The old matrix has become dark, and it is the dark outer shell that once encased our matrix. That old matrix is gone, shattered, by the new pure form of life. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep will scatter, and I will turn my hands upon the little ones. This verse is talking about the fall of Christianity. Jesus is the shepherd of the Christian flock. For 2 centuries, the church pretty much ruled the world, but it is dying. And the main cause is the corruption of the priesthood. The turning of the hand against the little ones is the child molesting done by the priests. We are all too familiar with the decades of allegations of priests sexually abusing their children. The reason I relate this verse to the priests of Christianity is because in this society the church is recognized is a recognized means of connection to God and the false big G God. But humans think they are worshiping the true God. In that regard, Jesus is a fellow to the gray. So Jesus the shepherd is a fellow to the God in the eyes of humans. When this book comes out, it will make false the Jesus is God claim of the church. The arrival of the gray at the request of Zion, the true priesthood, will belie the false religion of Jesus as Christ. This text is a sword to be used against our false religions. The church will be abandoned by many, some of which will come to Zion, but most will scatter, unable to wrap their heads around the events that are belying everything that they have been taught. Very few people will remain in the churches because the false idol will be seen for what it is, a false god that has no power. They will fear that Jesus isn't coming, and they will be right. All will know that Jesus won't come because Zion is already here, belying their false Messiah. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts thereof shall be cut off and die, but a third part shall be left therein. This verse is telling us just how bad global warming is going to be. 2 out of 3 people on Earth are going to die as a direct result of their own wasteful, greedy ways. Those who are going to die will die because they are cut off. When the water rises, the land is submerged. Our coastal cities are death traps. 2/3 of our entire planet lives on the coasts. All who choose to ignore the warnings of religion and science are not going to be having time to escape the rise of the seas. We are already seeing this happen. We are losing an inch of land a year. The water is rising, and all who remain on the coasts are putting themselves in harm's way. Most either believe there's no a danger. Most don't believe there's a danger. The rest don't think it'll happen to them, or that it won't happen now. They will stay on the coasts and be trapped by the rising oceans. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm, and may they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your guild choice when we camp. If you do drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote the books. My name is Zion. I love you way too much to say goodbye, so I'm going to say later now.